Making Money Fast with Grace Sandals. We are on way number 5 to making money fast. Number 5, do a quick job for family and friends. Everybody has things that they need done, right? So to make some easy money, why don't you go and help those family and friends out? Find something you can do for them that takes about an hour or two for a fair wage. Get paid for it. Here are some examples of what you can do. Go over and offer to rake their yard, clean their windows, mow the lawn, organize their garage, organize their closets, home office organization. That's really big as well. Anything with organization, they would love for you to come and do. You could offer to clean someone's house or their apartment. You could offer to wash cars. People like that. They often go to car washes on Saturdays or on the weekends. So hey, if I can stay home and you come to me and wash my car, I would gladly pay you. If you come to my home and wash my car for me and I get to stay home while you do it, I will gladly pay you. Fix cracked cell phone screens. I just found out about this. Friends of mine told me that it takes literally 5 to 10 minutes to fix a cracked cell phone screen, and people get paid a lot of money to do it. There are certain people or certain companies, places that you can go to, they charge $100 for that. Do you see how much money you can make in this? And it only takes 5 to 10 minutes. Go to YouTube, look at the videos, learn how to fix cracked cell phone screens, making money fast. Also, you can babysit, you can dog sit. Either way, it works, okay? Babysitting, dog sitting, easy money. All you have to do, make sure the baby and the dog don't get into things that they don't need to get into, right? You can run errands for people. You can plan vacations for people, because a lot of times that's kind of stressful and a hassle. So if you would like to do that and that's something that you are good in, they would gladly pay you to do that for them. Go grocery shopping. I can't stand the grocery store. Now, I love groceries, but I don't like going shopping for them. So if you decide you want to go shopping for me, that is great. That is awesome. I will pay you to do that. Pick up prescriptions for people. Give rides to the doctor. Give rides to the dentist. Give rides anywhere like your Uber. Get paid for it. Just find things that your family and friends either don't like to do or don't have time to do, and offer to do it for them for a fair wage. This is another Making Money Fast episode with Grace Sandals. We will see you at the top and not from the top.
Hello everyone, welcome to Plant Better University. My name is Tempest, and I just want to take time to acknowledge those of you who are watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing Plant Better University and the ATS JR companies and staff to continually to pour into you, pour into your business, and consult with your business. Thank you for using us, because there are a lot of personal development companies out there, and the fact that you chose us means so much to us. So thank you for allowing us to come on your device, come into your home, and just pour out everything that we have in us right back to you. Today, or is it today? I do want to talk about a quick subject that I've been thinking about actually every time I get in the car. So I'm finally doing this video, and it's focused on the journey, not the destination. And that has been resonate with me because I do drive back and forth a lot. And you know, if you're on the road an hour and a half, you have plenty of thoughts, and you start looking at things differently just to stay awake, stay alert. So let's dive into this. Number 1, don't let the distractions distract you. In this life is a journey, and in this life, as you well know, there are plenty of distractions. And as we're going through this video, I want you to imagine that you're driving down a freeway or a highway or whatever you call it. Here in Texas, we call it freeways or highways depending on the road. And imagine you're on the freeway. And on the freeway, you have to pay attention. You can think about your destination, but you need to be alert and ready for your journey there, right? So don't let the distractions distract you. So think about driving down a freeway, and what are all the distractions on the freeway? Let's name a few. First of all, there are other drivers. If you're in a metropolitan area like I am, people want to get to where they're trying to get to fast, and they seem not to care how or who they affect along the way. So you have people driving super fast. You have people driving very slow. You have people who are driving the speed limit. You have motorcycles to worry about. You have 18-wheelers and big trucks to think about. You have police on the road, and everyone wants to drive cautiously when they see a police car. And then think about all of the other distractions. Think about the distractions within your own car. You're adjusting the radio. Maybe your phone is ringing and you're trying to answer it, or you're looking for your headphones. Maybe, and I hope you don't text and drive, but maybe you need to send out a quick text message. You're adjusting the air. If it's cold outside, you're trying to make sure it's warm in the car but not too warm because it's too hot and that's annoying, or too warm and it causes you to relax and get sleepy, and that's the last thing you want to do. Or if it's hot outside, then you want to make sure that the cold AC is blowing just right. You want to adjust the vents. If you have kids in the back seat, and maybe they're restless and they're talking or having conversations, or if you have more than one, maybe they're bickering back and forth or arguing back and forth, or throwing things at each other. Maybe you have a baby or a toddler who's crying and is hungry, and you're trying to drive, and they are hungry, or they need a diaper change, or they just want some attention, or they're just having a fussy time. Think about, I believe I said just in the radio, but finding the right station, or listening to the right CD, or trying to find the right song on your phone, or making sure that your phone is plugged into the auxiliary cable, or trying to plug in your phone into the charger. Just so much within the car. And then as you're driving down the highway, you see all these bright billboards. It seems like they change every day, something brightly colored to grab your attention. A new restaurant, a new hotel, a concert, a new radio station. I saw that today. Just so much. And then buildings and construction, and just so many distractions, right? And think about the distractions in your life. So in life, people not supporting you, people who are against you. If you're at work, maybe a boss who doesn't support you, or who doesn't like you, or maybe you're just so much. Your weight, your health, your mental health, your physical health. What do you want to cook for dinner? Maybe an argument with a spouse or a loved one, or good news from someone or bad news from someone. What I'm saying is, I'm bringing up things that distract us. What I'm saying is, don't let the distractions distract you. You are on a journey. And whether you're driving on the freeway or you're just living this life, you really can't afford to be distracted. So what happens when you become distracted on a road, on a freeway, while you're driving? Accidents happen. You run into the back of somebody, or somebody, maybe you're drifting over into a different lane, or gosh, there's just so much. And if you focus on the distractions, you lose sight of where you are and why you're there. Just like in life, if you let arguments, if you let non-supportive people, if you let a bad day or a bad boss or a difficult boss, or money problems, bill problems, car problems, house problems. We get distracted, and rather than dealing with it or letting it blow by, we become fixated on the distraction, and that takes us off course. And the argument that you had, does that really affect your destiny? Does that really serve your dreams? Is it worth getting off course? Antonio loves to say, it doesn't matter in 5 minutes, doesn't matter in 5 days, doesn't matter in 5 years. More than likely not, but sometimes it does. But don't let what Jay-Z says, don't let the necessary become necessary. Stop getting distracted and pay attention to your journey. You are missing life. You are missing greatness. You are missing breakthroughs. You are missing miracles and things that you prayed for because you're focused on the wrong thing. And if you're not careful, just like you're on the freeway, you'll get into an accident, and then you'll get off course, and then you'll get another distraction. Then 10, 20 years pass by, and you look up and you're so off course, and you wonder, how did you get there? Well, you got there, ladies and gentlemen, because you chose to take your focus off the journey and let you allow distractions become distractions. So number one, pay attention to that. When you're drifting off course, you feel yourself drifting off course. Pay attention to those signs. Life does throw you some warning signs. Hey, you're off course. Hey, you're not paying attention. Hey, I'm over here. My dreams are over here. Remember, you said you wanted to do this. Remember, you said you wanted to travel. Why are you focusing on this and that? Remember, you said you wanted to start your own business. Why are you doing things that don't pertain to starting your own business? So hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying. Don't get distracted, because they are there. They're there to distract you. But are you strong enough? Are you willing enough? Is your why big enough to ignore the distractions and keep moving forward with life? And my next and final point is, you can't win in someone else's lane. Listen, driving on a freeway, if you don't stay in your lane, someone will let you know. Someone will blow at you. Someone will probably flip you off, and until you move back over in your lane. You can't win your race in someone else's lane. I will never be a dancer or whatever, because that's not my lane. I was actually telling my team today, I'm not good at math. That's not my greatest area. That's actually one of my weakest areas. And I was doing some math, and I was like, look, this is not my thing. This is not my department. That's not my lane. And I don't try to hop into a lane full of math problems and equations and formulas and all that, because I will fail. And I will fail because I recognize that that's not my lane. That's not my journey. I'm not a math teacher. I don't want to teach kids. That's not my journey. And if I so happen to hop into that lane, I'll be miserable. Today I was miserable, and I was only doing those equations for maybe 10-15 minutes. It didn't feel right. It felt uncomfortable. It felt inadequate, and I knew that that's not the road that I needed to be on. So what's your road? Find your road and pay attention to what makes you happy, and get in that lane, and then move forward in that lane. Unfortunately, so many of us are in a lane that we're not supposed to be in, and we wonder why we're so miserable. We wonder why we stay upset. We wonder why we wake up on Monday mornings and actually hate going to work. Why the weekends fly by, and then Sunday night you're groaning and moaning because you have to get up and go to work, or you have to get up and do this. Or, sorry, brace yourself. Some of us are in the wrong lane because we're with the wrong spouse. That's also a lane that may not be for you. If you wake up next to someone and they don't make you happy, you may be in the wrong lane. And unfortunately, millions of people are like that, So find your lane in life, find your lane in relationships, find your lane in your career, in your education, and stay in your lane and run your race there. Focus on the journey, not the destination. The destination will be there, but some of us are missing life because we want the destination, but we don't pause to stop and smell the roses. We're missing the sun, the moon, the stars. We're missing our kids grow up. We're missing our spouse accomplishing their dreams. We're missing our friends doing amazing things because we're so focused on the end result. And that's painful to be on the other side of that. It's painful to accomplish something and someone else is so focused on 15 years down the road, they won't stop long enough to congratulate you. So please don't be that person. Please don't be that leader. Please don't be that friend, that mother, that father, that sister, that brother, that husband, that wife, that whatever. Please don't be that person. So to recap, don't get distracted by the distractions. It's easy to do so, and I understand why, but is it worth it? If I have this argument, if I go off on this person, if I pause my journey and say yes to a project that has nothing to do with me, that will take me so far off course, I won't know how to get back to my course, is it worth it? And 9 times out of 10, that answer is no. And I'm not saying don't help people. I'm saying don't hinder your dreams at the expense of someone else's. And then last but not least, you can't win in someone else's lane. If you're looking for a mathematician, I am not the person. But if you're looking for someone who can come in and create systems, who can create policy and procedures, if you're looking for someone who can fulfill an administrative role and do it effectively and efficiently, then that is my lane. But math and other things like that is not my lane. So find your lane and get out of someone else's lane. Find your lane, love your lane, learn your lane, and stay there and run your course. Thank you for tuning into this course. Thank you for being part of the Plant Better University community, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Conversations in the car. Today's conversation: you are hurting the people around you. Yes, I know, right? It's like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Let me explain to you how you're hurting the people around you. Everything you do has repercussions, from the good to the bad. There's repercussions for everything. And it's called a wake. You know how when a boat is driving, you look at the back of it, you can tell how it's traveling based on how the water comes up. If the water is smooth and everything is going with the flow of the ocean. If it's all choppy, it's going against the flow of the ocean. What you do is the same thing. When you're around people, the things that you do affect these people. And what you do, it doesn't hurt you, it hurts them. So let's say you are at home. You have an attitude. You're frustrated, you're angry. And when you get home, you go off on your significant other, you take it out on your children, your parents, and you feel better. But my question to you is, what have you done to the ones that felt how you were feeling? The ones that you took it out on? Ladies and gentlemen, you're hurting the people around you. When you don't talk, when you don't speak, when you don't express how you feel, when you don't open your mouth and talk, when you decide you want to be independent and not ask for any help, you're hurting the people around you, because when you don't ask for help, you're saying, I don't need you. When you want to be independent, you say, I got this. And when the other person genuinely wants to help you, it's basically a slap in their face. When you don't talk to people, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know how they feel. And you being quiet about anything is just magnifying how they feel. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hurting the people around you. You can't say you're a team player when you only do things how you want to do it. You can't say you're a team player if you don't meet deadlines. And you're only hurting those who needed that deadline met. You're only hurting those who you didn't include in what you were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hurting the people around you. How can I tell you this? Because I've done it. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I've hurt people around me. I've hurt family. I've hurt friends. I've hurt loved ones. And the ultimate hurt of all is when you hurt your children. When you hurt the ones that are truly only out to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are hurting the people around you. I'm backing up. Give me 1 second. How do you not hurt the ones around you? It's actually quite simple. Be yourself. Not the representative self. Not the self you present to everybody. Not the self that you think everybody wants you to be, but be who you genuinely are. And when you're who you genuinely are, you won't hurt people. You'll actually help them. Because when you're yourself, they're comfortable being themselves around you. Ladies and gentlemen, you hurt people when you shut down on them. You hurt them when you don't communicate. Talk. Express how you feel. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be genuine when you talk to someone. It's okay to actually express to people how you feel about them. I know growing up we're told, no, you're not supposed to do this, no, you're not supposed to do that. I understand these things. But I also need you to understand that that's what they told you. So move out of that. Because just like they told you that and it hurt you, you doing it is hurting someone else. And you hurt yourself when you hurt others. If you really think about it, when you think about the pain that you cause others, when you think about the hurt that you cause others, if you don't feel anything about that, my dear friend, you have a lot of work to do. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I humbly beg you, stop hurting the ones around you. Talk, express, be your genuine you, and stop hurting the ones around you. Thank you for joining me in my confessions in the car. Bye, guys.
Did you hear about ATS week?
I did.
It's gonna be on
Is
stage.
it for real?
It's gonna be on stage.
Like 24/7?
24/7.
No way.
Yes.
No.
You know, like Shark Week is a big deal.
Oh, okay. I
Shark Week is a
get
big
it now.
deal.
It took me blonde hair.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
so,
okay.
So who? Who's it gonna be from ATS?
Woo. ATS, Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Not just him, though.
Who?
Not just him. You got Tempest Smith. You got Deanna Mitchell. You got Brian Johnson.
Are
Brian
you gonna be
A.
on it?
Johnson.
Are you?
I think I am too.
Okay.
Aren't you?
So yes, I am.
Yes.
I am.
And then we got Shannon Clark. Yes.
Shannon Clark.
Shannon Clark.
Shannon
Okay.
Clark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these people
Did you
are
say
too.
Deanna?
I said Deanna.
Okay,
When
you
we
said
say
Deanna.
Deanna.
Rainbows.
Rainbows.
She's gonna shoot
Caramel.
rainbows through
Yes.
your screen,
Yes.
everybody.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Yes.
24 hours a day, 7 days.
24. That's it.
You know
July
what?
16th
I
to
bet
the
you
23rd.
we were.
Hi, this is Michelle, and today I want to talk to you about something that we all go through, something that we all experience, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. It's called frustration. We all have it. We all experience it. It's actually how we respond to it is how we get through it. We all have it. We've all been in those traffic jams, especially when we're in a hurry. And we've all been in those grocery lines. You know the lines. The ones that say 15 items or less, and you're stuck behind the person who's got 30 items, and they're all produce, so they have to look up each one. I don't know the code to eggplant. I don't even buy eggplant. So what I realized is I was experiencing a lot of frustration. Learning new information was very frustrating for me. Or asking a question and not liking the answer. That's frustrating. It makes us irritable. It makes us angry. I've had bouts of wanting to just quit whatever it was I'm doing just because I didn't understand it. That is called frustration. So what I've actually learned to do is how to diminish and slow down that frustration. And I would like to share those ideas with you. And that's actually one of the first points is I slow down. I pause. I reflect on, is this really important? Is this really important enough to take away my happiness? If it's something that I'm doing and I don't like to do it, I take a moment and I step away. I go, I take a break, I breathe, I center myself. Some things that I do is I talk it out. I'll sit there. The only thing that I can really imagine is me talking it out is like assembling something. You know, there's IKEA bookshelves that come. I gotta really talk those things out. Instead of sitting there getting frustrated and throwing all the screws and nails away or the little Allen wrench, you gotta talk it out. Okay, step one, this is this, this is this, this is this. If you talk it out and go step by step, it is so much easier. So yeah, I talk it out. I center myself a lot. Especially when it's new information and it's frustrating, it's social media. I'm learning guys. But you just have to step back and center yourself. Another thing that's been helping me is being grateful. So I'll be maybe stand in that grocery line and not be annoyed or irritated. I'll be grateful for the moment. Actually, I get a chance to just breathe. I may even strike up a conversation with the person in front of me or behind me. I'm in sales. I might be able to sell them a package. I might be able to add value to their life for the day. It's always been said that if you can change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will change. Frustration is a wasted time. Because after it's all said and done and after the little adult temper tantrums that I've had, I realize that I'm going to still go back to the task, try to complete it, and I do complete it. So what was the whole point of being frustrated? Who knows? It was wasted time. I may not have all the answers on how to get rid of frustration, but I do know that the path I'm on is a little bit shorter and I've saved a lot of time. So be easy with your frustration, be easy on yourself. It's not that important. Don't waste your happiness on something that's just frustrating.
welcome to ATS Week. We thank you guys for tuning in this week with us. We've really been enjoying doing these recordings and getting this stuff out there to you guys. We hope you guys are enjoying what's going on, and we hope you guys have been really getting some good notes and taking some good lessons. Listen, I'm going to kind of now flip the script because I'm still for to add value and I'm still for to give you a whole bunch of information. But I'm about to go there right quick. Yes, I said it. I'm about to go there. We're going to talk about, for the next few episodes of recording here, seeing my face, we're going to talk about universal spiritual laws. Listen, every human was created to experience life in a physical body. We learn lessons in the form of situations, life's events, and particular people by living on earth. It's how we deal with life circumstances that determines whether or not we pass those tests. Everyone on earth that is created, aim is enlightenment or ascension. This is the total mastery of all the lessons offered. Universal laws are rules and patterns that can be applied to everything in the universe. School, work, church, relationships, everything. The usefulness of knowing the laws are very important because of his simple, universal application. The spiritual laws are broken into 4 categories, and we will go category by category because each category has multiple laws within them. The first category is called the basic laws of life, and that's what we'll title this one today. The basic laws of life. The first one is the law of attraction. You've heard it many times before. You've heard it many times with this company. You've heard it many times during just ATS week. The law of attraction. The belief that by focusing on positive or negative thought can bring positive or negative experiences into your life. Sowing and reaping. The energy of the thought you plant is the energy of the thought you will receive in return in abundance. The next law is the law of request. What does this mean? This means when our souls are ready, we are to ask for what we want and need with clear intention. Have you ever heard the phrase, a closed mouth don't get fed? You've never made the request. That's why you never received what you intended to get. At the end of Philippians chapter 4 verse 6, it says, let your requests be made known. Then there's another text in the Bible that says, anything you ask in my name you shall receive. That's the law of request. Next law is the law of resistance. When we focus on something, we are in effect calling it toward ourselves and into our lives, whether we want them or not. We often invoke the law of resistance without being consciously aware that we are even doing it. We invite situations, people, experiences, and even material things into our lives by the way of our thoughts and our beliefs. The law of resistance is most often triggered by a victim mentality or consciousness. When someone is thinking, I'm so unlucky, or poor me, they are believing themselves to be a victim. This mentality resists generosity and abundance, and they are resisting taking personal responsibility for what they have created for themselves. If we hold a belief or think a certain thought often enough, it becomes embedded into our subconscious minds. For example, if we believe and have the thought pattern of, I don't want to be poor, this filters through our subconscious mind as poor And in turn, this invokes the law of resistance, keeping us poor. If we believe, think, or repeat, I won't ever find the right partner, this resists the perfect partner from entering our lives. If we think and believe that we are undeserving, then regardless of whatever good comes into our lives, we will reject it as we believe that we do not deserve it. The law of resistance holds true in all situations. Positive statements, beliefs, and thoughts such as, I deserve the perfect partner, I am happy, I am financially secure, so on and so forth, brings those energies into our lives. The trick to understanding the law of resistance is to not resist the negatives, but to embrace the positives. Next law, the law of reflection. Life mirrors back to us what we put out. Every situation, circumstance, experience, and person in our lives is a mirror of an aspect of ourselves. People and circumstances mirror back to us the issues we need to acknowledge, deal with, and resolve. We will continue to play out the same scenes and meet up with similar people over and over until we finally acknowledge and learn the lesson. There are no coincidences in the universe, and everything happens for a reason. Everything that presents to us comes with a message and a lesson to learn. The universe mirrors and reflects back to us all the good and bad, positive and negatives, within ourselves and our lives. The law of reflection reminds us to look in the mirror, study the reflection, and change what we do not like to see, or acknowledge within ourselves what it truly is. Often we keep attracting into our lives the same kinds of people and the same kinds of situations. This can be frustrating when we fail to hear and understand the message or lesson. Whatever comes into our lives is prompt from the universe to take a look into the mirror and acknowledge what it is trying to teach us. When we work out the patterns and underlying lessons associated, we are able to work towards solving any repeating negatives that recur in our lives. This in turn transmutes negatives to positive. And when we live with that and send out positive energies, the same energies are mirrored back to us in the form of positive experiences and opportunities, health, happiness, love, and light. The law of reflection is understood. Once the law of reflection is understood, we are able to expand our spiritual growth by acknowledging what life is trying to tell us and make changes accordingly. The law of projection. There are as many worlds as there are minds. Why? Every mind lives in its own world. Simply put, everything you see outside of yourself is but a projection created by you. In other words, you have written the script. You are the camera person, you're the director, you're the projector, and the audience of your life. The law of attachment is the next law we're going to cover right now. We are able to wish for anything we want in our lives. But if our sense of self-worth or happiness depend upon having it, then we are attached to it. Excuse me. The law of attachment tells us whatever or whoever we are attached to has the power to control and manipulate us. Etheric cords are formed between people who have unresolved emotions and issues between them. Each and every time we send out negative thoughts or angry words of jealousy, envy, hurt, or need towards someone, a tiny thread is manifested which attaches to them. This forms a bond of attachment of sorts. If we consistently send out these feelings and emotions, these tiny threads become cords or ropes. These strong cords remain and bind us to the person we feel negativity towards. Unless these cords or binds are resolved, they will reactivate and inevitably draw us towards those with whom we have unresolved issues. This happened in order to enable our soul to reface the lesson of forgiveness and gives us the opportunity to do things differently. The law of attachment encourages us to weigh up what we want and need for our soul's growth rather than for our ego's sake. Tune in and join us next time as we continue to discuss these universal laws.
Did you hear about ATS week?
I did.
It's gonna be on
Is
the
it
tape.
for real?
It's gonna be on the tape.
24/7?
24/7.
No way.
Yes.
No.
You know, like Shark Week is a big deal.
Oh, okay. I
Shark
get
Week's a
it
big
now.
deal.
It took me blonde hair.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
so,
okay.
So who? Who's it gonna be from ATS?
Woo. Okay, ATS, Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Not just him, though.
Who?
Not just him. You got Tempest Smith. You got Deanna Mitchell. You got Brian Johnson.
Are
Brian
you gonna be
A.
on it?
Johnson.
Are you?
I think I am too.
Okay.
Aren't you?
So yes, I am.
Yes.
I am.
And then we got Shannon Clark. Yes.
Shannon Clark.
Shannon Clark.
Shannon
Okay.
Clark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these people
Did you
are
say
too.
Deanna?
I said Deanna.
Okay,
We're
you said
saying
Deanna.
Deanna.
Rainbows.
Rainbows.
She's gonna shoot
Care Bear.
rainbows
Yes.
through
Yes.
your screen,
Yes.
everybody.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Yes.
24 hours a day, 7 days.
24. That's it.
You know
July
what?
16th
I bet
to the
you
23rd.
we were.
Hi, welcome back to ATS Week. My name is Tempest. I am one of the CEOs of the ATS JR companies, and I just want to thank you for giving us your time, giving us your attention. We work really hard to produce content. We work really hard to help people plant better, and I don't take your presence or your attention lightly, so thank you. I did mention in my first video that since I am in the car a lot, I decided to come to you all live from my car. Just makes good sense to talk where I am at the most. I want to talk about a topic that is touchy and a topic that I am constantly struggling with, constantly trying to become better at, but a topic that I know a lot of us struggle with, and that's forgiveness. I've noticed that, and a lot of people have been saying this, I've noticed that a shift has happened. Feels like, the universe is shifting into a new era. People are trying to do different things in their life. They're trying to be better. They're trying to grow. They're trying to learn more. And it just seems like, as a whole, although it may not seem like it upon first glance, people are in a state of trying to be better, trying to right some wrongs, etc. And I've noticed that in this shift that is happening, a lot of us are realizing we have suppressed feelings. A lot of us are realizing that we're not as healed and put all together as we assume that we are. And I'm a firm believer that the universe does keep putting us in the same situation over and over again, just in different times, different areas, because we haven't learned our lesson. And some of us are dealing with, myself included, are dealing with hurt that we thought we buried, hurt that we thought we were over, hurt that we thought we were unbothered by. But since we never really addressed the problem, since we never really went through the steps of healing, all of those issues, all of those pains, all that suffering has resurfaced. And I feel a lot of that has to do with our lack of forgiveness. But I don't think that it's malicious, not for everybody. I just think a lot of us don't really understand the concept of forgiveness, and we don't know what it means to forgive. I feel like a lot of us use words just because it's what you're supposed to do or what you're supposed to say. But since we don't really know what the words mean, and we don't take the time out to learn what words mean, to study it, to understand not just the textbook definition, but to understand the concept behind it, understand the psychology that goes with it, we end up saying things like, I forgive you, or I love you, or, not being funny, I want to marry you. And we don't understand what we're actually saying. So we don't behave the way in which the words are supposed to be matched with. We behave the opposite. We tell people we forgive you, or please forgive me, but we don't act like people who have forgave somebody. We don't act like someone who has been forgiven. We continue to act the same way. And like I said, some of it may be malicious, but I think for most of human population, we just don't know, because we were just too lazy to go look, or we never thought we had to go figure it out. But if you look at the definition of forgive, it means to let go of resentment. And the only part that I want to focus on is let go. A lot of us are saying we forgive people, saying we forgive situations, saying that, oh, they did me wrong, but I'm unbothered by it. But we're lying to ourselves. Because if you actually have forgiven someone, then you have let go. Not just let go like, oh, I'm not going to worry about it, but you let go of the hurt. You let go of the pain. You let go of the suffering. You let go of everything. But since we don't properly forgive, because we don't know how, or don't want to know how, we just say words that mean absolutely nothing. We say, I forgive you, but we don't mean it. And we leave ourselves suffering, and we leave the other people suffering as well. Forgiveness doesn't mean I gotta get back cool with you. It just means I've let it go. It means I love me more. And if you really think about forgiveness, you really think about the definition that we're using, or that the dictionary uses, let go. It's not for the other party. Forgiveness is for you. And even that has become a cliche that we don't recognize. But forgiveness to me means I love me more than I want to hold on to the pain that you caused. It means that I care for me more than dealing with unnecessary pain, unnecessary drama. And that may take some time. When you forgive someone, or forgive a situation, or whatever, you are letting it go, not to free the other person, not excusing the other person, but you're letting it go so you can live your best life. So you're not living holding on to unnecessary trauma, holding on to unnecessary hurt. You forgive so you don't have to have the universe constantly put you in situations so you can learn the lesson of forgiveness. I don't want to have to repeat the same lesson over and over again. because I neglected to grab it the first time. When you're in school, you don't want to repeat the same grade over and over again. But we think once we graduated, we don't have to do that anymore. But you're not in grades, you're not in school, but you're still being taught lessons. And once you learn a lesson, new things are unlocked for you. I do believe that. But a lot of us are missing out on our next level, or missing out on our next business idea, or missing out on who we're supposed to meet in this lifetime, whether it's friends or relationship wise or whatever. We're missing out on a lot of things because we're holding on to too much of the wrong things. We are holding on to emotions that keep us a slave to someone else's actions. And I don't choose, and I don't think, if you're watching still this video, I don't think you choose that either. Don't give someone so much power over you that their actions controls every part of your life. You do know when you don't forgive someone, or when you don't seek forgiveness, you carry that with you, and it pops up in every situation, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, or whether it's with yourself. If you can't forgive you, you can't possibly forgive someone else. And I'm going to go out on a ledge and say, if you can't forgive, then you shouldn't be using the word love. Because how can I love you if I'm holding on to resentment and hatred and grudges towards you? We have to learn to let go. We have to learn to release the situation and release ourselves from people and situations that aren't helping us, that aren't serving us. And I don't want you holding on to unnecessary emotional baggage because you were too selfish to let it go. Holding on to the pain isn't doing anything positive for you. It's causing you to become angrier. It's causing you to become bitter. It's causing you to build up resentment. And it's causing you to really have low self-esteem. It's causing you not to live your best life because you want to be hurt. You want to hold on to hurt. And I'm not saying it happens in a blink of an eye. Sure, it's going to take some time depending on what happened. But is it worth holding on? Are you not worth more? Another cliche that I'll probably talk about in a separate video is knowing your value, knowing your worth. But do you really understand that when you don't forgive and you purposely hold on to unnecessary drama, you diminish your worth. You diminish your value. People look at you all the time and they see the pain, they see the hurt, they see the tears you cried, they see the anger that you have inside. And I'm telling you, I've dealt with it. I dealt with people hurting me, misusing me, and it took me years to realize I was saying I forgive you, but I actually didn't mean it. Because although I said it, I went right back and picked up the situation, went right back and picked up the hurt. I went right back and looked at my hands and still saw what I said I had let go. So if you learn nothing else this week, although you should learn plenty, I really hope that you learn to let things go and move on with your life. Because holding hatred in your heart, holding resentment in your spirit, that weighs you down, that ages you faster, that causes a slew of health problems. And for what? Because you want to hold on to some emotions that someone did, or you want to keep replaying a scenario that happened because you just want to feel that way. Yes, it hurts. I'm not diminishing that. I understand. Pain is real. I'm not going to say that's superficial. Emotional pain especially is real. But there are people who go to court every day because someone murdered their somebody, and they tell them, I forgive you. And if somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's significant other can look at a killer in their eyes and say, I forgive you for taking someone I love, someone I hold near and dear to my heart away, and certainly we can forgive people who talk about us behind our back. Certainly we can forgive people who have cheated on us. Certainly we can forgive people who have betrayed us and stabbed us in our back, or people who owe us money and won't return our money back to us, or who hurt us, who hit us, who whatever. The people who have lost their loved ones and can forgive the person who took that life away are strong because they recognize holding on to that hurt doesn't bring my loved one back. Holding on to that hurt doesn't bring your money back. It doesn't allow someone to uncheat on you. It doesn't take the knife out of your back. It doesn't take the pain from the hurt away. It just makes it more tolerable, and you go live your life. And I keep saying that, but that's important because we hold on to so much baggage, it weighs us down. We don't do anything but wallow in our pain. It looks like we're living a good life. It looks like we are loving ourselves. It looks like we are at the top of our game, but on the inside, we're crumbling inside. And you can only pretend and hold yourself up superficially for so long. So I hope you learn to forgive. It's a practice. It's something that you have to work on pretty much every single day. And if you don't forgive somebody won't forgive you, and you'll be doing everything you possibly can to right a wrong, and they will do to you what you've done to others. And if you can't remember to forgive, remember that someone has forgiven you time and time and time and time and time again. And if you can't be forgiven, probably by people you don't know, certainly you can forgive others. My name is Tempest Smith. Thank you again for checking us out on ATS Week. Thank you for joining me in my car. I'll see you all next time.